This week I had a double feature, and the first movie up was Carrie, a remake of the 1976 classic based on the Stephen King novel Carrie. This movie stars Chloe Grace Moretz as Carrie and Julianne Moore as Carrie's mom. If you're not familiar with the story of Carrie, it goes a little something like this. Carrie is a bullied high schooler because her mom keeps her very sheltered. She doesn't have the same type of knowledge that a lot of kids her age do. She doesn't dress the same. She's quiet and shy, and of course she gets bullied because that's unfortunately what a lot of kids do to anybody who is a little bit different. Well, she gets pushed too far when they end up making fun of her at prom after she finally thinks that she is one of the normal kids, and then she enacts her revenge via her telekinetic powers. I was more scared in this movie than I actually expected to be. I was familiar with the story. I had seen parts to most of the original 1976 movie, but it was the anticipation of knowing what was going to happen. When she went full-on creepy, it was full-on creepy. But the worst was probably Julianne Moore as Carrie's mom. You have not seen terrifying until you have seen Julianne Moore with ratty hair and out-of-date dress slowly just swaying back and forth. Overall, the 2013 remake of Carrie stayed very close to the 1976 movie, which had a few differences from the book. The biggest changes in the movies from the novel were mostly the end, and that's also where the two movies differed from each other. Finally, after the climactic scenes and getting towards the resolution, it's all tied up in a different way in the book, in the 76 movie, and in the 2013 movie. I think quite possibly the worst part of the movie, and the thing that I found the scariest, is because it's really difficult to watch someone go from being so naive, so shy, sheltered, and well-intentioned to completely vengeful, absolutely terrifying, and just essentially having her will with everybody else as her playthings, with her powers. Carrie ended up making this incredibly dynamic transformation from the beginning to the end, and it was shocking. And Chloe Grace Moretz really freaked me the out. The context of the movie now is obviously way different from the 70s. Bullying is a bigger issue amongst parents and kids, and of course it's represented in the media almost constantly, and I don't have to remind you guys, of course, of the terrible school disasters that we've had happen when people snap and make wrong decisions. Magic powers aside, a student being pushed to the point of taking revenge on her classmates in a very violent, devastating way seems more realistic now than it maybe did in the 70s. I think that's also a very obvious point as to why the 2013 remake of Carrie was a lot scarier. On a lighter note, I always thought that telekinesis was like the coolest superpower to have, just in a lazy sense of bringing everything towards you. My final thoughts on Carrie: scary, or scarier than I thought it was going to be, and I'm still thinking about it a few days later, even after seeing movies in between. So it definitely has sort of a staying power with you. I think it was very interesting to see, and of course make the comparison to the 76 movie and the novel. Overall, I would give Carrie a 3 to maybe a 3.5 superpowers out of a total 5. Once again, be sure to leave a comment down below if you saw Carrie. Let me know what you think about it, and stay tuned for part 2 of my double feature this week.